It is the Riot Podcast.
Hello, everybody.
So here's what's going to happen. We're going to play this podcast for you, and then I'm going to be gone for 2 days next week.
So you will not get a new podcast until next Wednesday. So just a couple days off.
All right. Here's the stuff you're going to hear today. We talk Easter, Coffee by Drone, the Factual, the Cannonball Run, Nikki and the 10 Commandments.
Bow down.
Bow down to them, Nikki.
Bow down to the sale, and
To
if
Charlton
someone will
Heston.
buy it. And all the other Easter movies that are happening this weekend.
Also, lots of free TV. Your disease plume, because you're blowing one.
Actually, that's just good information, I think, even if you're not in a coronavirus time, but just when you're working out and if you're running around a lot of people, it's just a nice thing to remember. If you're sick, to not go out and run if you think it's going to be a crowded place.
She's making good points.
Good. I think it's just good for us to learn.
So let's see. There's that. Apple TV Plus, some free stuff there. Obadiah and the thermometer again. Other things that are canceled. Peeps Slurpees. This ought to keep you busy.
If anybody's near a 7-Eleven and you try the Peeps Slurpees, let us know what you think of them.
You should definitely reach out.
Not in the area near that. Don't forget to text over the weekend if you're catching up on the RIOT podcast, which a lot of people seem to be doing during your more at-home time that you have. You can text us at 877-2RadioU. Just put your podcast listener and your name, and we'll see that.
All right. Anything else?
Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Easter, and we will see you on Wednesday next week.
All right. Bye.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, internet. The worst of the Riot Podcast.
Happy Easter! Anybody?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll be ready for Sunday.
Anyone? Does anybody remember that Easter is this week? Yeah, it's like, is that on your radar at all now?
You can still do stuff from a distance.
Yeah. So don't forget that we had our after show eating some Easter candy. So that was something.
We did some Peeps, and we tried the new Mountain Dew flavor, which, if you want to watch, is at RadioU Riot on our Facebook page.
For me, Easter is so not on my radar. It's tough. I want it to be, but it's just not.
I don't think it's the right. Well, for all of the big normal Easter stuff, it's just not something that's going to work this year.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I go to the store today, I want you to know I'm going to try to buy some more of those Reese's Pieces eggs.
The eggs? Oh, you love those things.
Oh, gosh.
The ones that come in like the little milk carton.
I think the little milk carton's part of what sells it.
The charm.
It's like, oh, look, I'm at school and I got my milk carton full of nummies.
Just drink your milk.
Yummy num-nums.
Well, that's a good way to celebrate, and that's fine.
So what are people doing for Easter this year? Because you can't go to the buffet. You can't have an Easter egg hunt.
I'm sure. Well, you could probably have one in your yard if someone had one.
Yeah, but that means I have to hide the eggs
your eggs
for
and
me to
find
find.
them. Yes.
Woo! So what I should have done is hid the eggs like a month ago.
I know, and then go back out, and you won't remember where you put them.
Hopefully, I would have forgotten where they were. And then I'd be very excited.
Well, I think we're okay unless our moms are driving over while we're sleeping and then hiding the eggs and then won't even be there.
Dude, I haven't seen my mom in like 6 weeks.
Oh, it's been that long? She didn't FaceTime or anything?
No. I mean, I talked to her on the phone, but I haven't seen her in forever. Like, early March.
She's got to do a drive-by.
We actually talked about it. I was like, well, do we do that thing where we like awkwardly sit at different park benches? Like,
a lot of people do that. Or you just drive by and just stay in your car.
Wave.
Throw
a
Easter lily at them or something.
But they can't pick it up for 3 days while the virus dies.
While it's in the air, you Lysol it so that while it's going over...
You throw it? No. It's like...
Throw it, Lysol, it lands, and she can hold it.
You throw it up, you Lysol it, and then you have a friend that's standing... Nope, can't have that. I was going to say, you have someone... that would then, with a baseball bat, they hit it over to them.
No, I think you just park close to them.
Okay.
You got a good arm. It'll be fine.
No big deal. No big deal. All right. Well, it's something I keep reminding myself. I'll be in the middle of something and I'll stop and be like, hey, it's Easter this weekend. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay. What about the peanut butter eggs? What about the egg hunt?
Hey, remember, you go get those yourself today.
What about... the buffet. What about the ham?
We needed that cash and the eggs. We needed something.
What about? It's like, no, not this year.
No, not going to have it.
I guess. I mean, At least we still had Christmas. We got to get this all.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get this all wrapped up by Christmas, guys.
This could have been during that time, and that would have been even worse.
I mean, we'd still have the RadioU Christmas channel, so that's something.
I think what I envision for Sunday is a lot of people taking a lot of walks, and that's about it.
Look, whee! We're walking.
That could work.
You know what? Okay. All right. So I'm going to take my Easter walk, just like I do every year.
And then you carry your little Reese's Easter eggs. And
eat them?
Yeah, just eat them as you walk around, as you take a stroll about the neighborhood.
Here, kid, you want some of my candy? Just kidding.
Not allowed
You're not
to do
allowed to
that.
have it.
Not
The
allowed to do
governor
that.
said so.
It's your candy. You keep it.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
So I must just be in general drinking more coffee because I bought a bag of coffee last week. I was somewhere, there was coffee, I bought it. Oh my gosh. If you go to like a little coffee shop that's an out of the way, whatever, you need to ask them how much their coffee costs
before you buy
just
it.
throw the bag down.
In case it's artisanal. And you get caught.
It was one of those moments where I didn't react, but I was just like, oh my gosh.
But you didn't want to put it back.
No, I just bought it and I needed coffee, so whatever. But I have drank through almost that entire bag this week. What I'm trying to say is that coffee is important to me, and America runs on coffee. At least this part of it does.
That's true.
So I'm looking here at a guy in Southeast Seattle in Renton. This was a couple weeks ago, but the footage that's making its way around, this guy called McDonald's. Was it McDonald's? Yeah. And he was just like, hey, I need coffee and I want to send my drone over to you. And he flew his drone from his house to the McDonald's. McDonald's put his coffee in whatever the heck he had attached to the drone.
Like a little basket or something?
And then he flew it back to himself and he had his McDonald's coffee.
I feel like there's more to this because a drone can only carry so much weight. Maybe
Right.
his is bigger, so I don't feel like, was it a small coffee? Was it a collection of drinks? Was there food? Was there anything else?
You know, I don't
Did he have a friend who worked there? That's what I feel.
Oh, well, there's footage of the drone coming down. Manager's holding the door. McDonald's worker is walking out.
It feels like someone's like, let's make McDonald's look a little bit nicer and come on and bring your drone on over.
I don't know. He's sitting there drinking his coffee. But I'm with you. Like most drones, at least consumer level drones, we're not talking about the government.
They're not gonna have that.
I don't know. But then again, like how much does a cup of coffee weigh? What do you think? A pound? Does it weigh a pound?
I don't know. I mean, and then how did he do payment? So, like,
well, that you could do through the app or something like that.
Well, I mean, you have to pick it up then.
I'm sure they work something out.
And then you have to put, I'm here, like when you're actually there.
That is true, actually.
I feel holes in this, and I don't know why.
What do you think? This is McDonald's propaganda?
I think it's, someone that's working
Big
there.
McDonald's paid for all this.
Everybody's a little bored, and you're able to make a video.
Well, in fairness, he probably worked. He's probably out there getting jobs to.
I just don't want us to then take this story and go, I have a drone. Well, I could do this too, because I don't think they'll say yes.
And I think this guy probably has a nicer drone because I will tell you, where was I? Micro Center. I was buying stuff, risking my health, and they had all these drones out, and they're like, "This drone's only $30," and I was like, "Wait." So it's like it works for 5 minutes after 6 hours of charging.
Yay! It's the perfect drone. The perfect drone. You need a more, commercialized one or something.
Yeah.
Just something better.
But that'd be fun. Does Eric still use his drone?
Every so often, yeah. If someone requires it, usually.
And I feel like I know I wouldn't because nothing's like that. But I feel like if I had a drone, I'd just fly it everywhere all the time.
You're not supposed to anymore. You have to.
I know.
You have to have your classes and stuff like that. So
whatever.
Great. There it is.
I'm just telling you right now.
Whatever, guys.
I'll tell them. I played an awful lot of TIE Fighter.
I
know how to fly things.
But gone are the days of the flying drones. They put an end to all that fun.
I have been thinking about getting one of those little helicopters to fly through my house. I think that sounds kind of cool.
That's a good idea.
I know, but
one of the $30 ones where you were at the store.
6 hours charging, 5 minutes of fun.
It's going to be perfect. Oh my gosh, you could have had it for Easter. Just flown eggs around.
Oh. Don't
Put a
tell me
little
that
bunny in
now.
it. It could have been a rescue mission.
We gotta fly. The bunny is stuck in Wuhan, and we are evacuating it.
Could have rescued Mr. Easter Bunny.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah, you did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. RadioU.
Nikki, do you have any experience with thefactual.com?
I do not.
Okay, it's a website, duh, but it's a news aggregator. So here's the deal. You go there, and you can sign up for it. They do a daily email. I heard somebody else talking about it. And to be clear, I'm not talking about it because I'm ready to put my stamp on it. I'm talking about it because I'm wondering.
We're just talking.
If anybody else has used it or seen it or whatever.
Do you put your story that you're reading link into it and then it comes out with if it's real or not?
No, think about just going to a website that has news, like the Google News or Yahoo News or whatever. So what it'll do is it will tell you, like, on the right, it has political leaning. Mm-hmm. So do you want stories that are more on the left, more on the right, or mixed? And then it rates different news providers. So like the New York Times, it's moderate left. The Washington Post, moderate left. Okay, are there any rights? Oh, here we go. The Federalist.
You're not supposed to notice that.
The Federalist, right. The Conversation, center. Scientific America, center. And so what it does is that it basically gives you a heads up on the kind of bias you're going to get going into the story. Then they also have, you can look at trending topics, and then they have what they call a credibility grade. Mm-hmm. And so there's highly credible, medium credible, and not very credible.
So they still post the not so credible stories, but they're at least giving you a warning?
Well, you can tell it whether or not you are willing to look at those.
That's
so
good.
Right now I'm at the high setting. Let's move it to low and see what happens. Oh, okay. Now it wants me to I have to give them they don't have any stories currently listed in the low category. But in the medium,
too good for that.
In the medium category,
we know where we can find some not so good stories.
Well, for example, how Trump is sabotaging the coronavirus rescue plan. That's the Washington Post, but it's an editorial. So I don't know if it's a result of it being editorial, but its credibility grade is lower. Mm-hmm. Here's a story about Don Cheadle, also a little bit lower. So whatever. But it's interesting to me because Nikki and I spend an awful lot of time trying to kind of sort through things about whether or not we want to talk about them. And then just in your own personal life, you're like, is this real? Can I trust this? This is kind of an interesting idea.
So it's a newsletter where they'll send you stuff or a Chrome extension, or you just go to the site.
Or you can just go to the website and it'll show you trending topics. You can search by a topic. And then they have a section. This I thought was interesting, too, is they have a place called it's underreported stories, but they're still, you can get them in that highly credible grade or whatever. So here's a story on how, this is the Scientific America one, like how people with autism forge friendships. You know, you're not getting that on the main page at a lot of sites, but it's still news because it revolves around a study. So
sometimes I really feel like the low credibility stories are the fun ones, you know?
Well, yes.
You don't want to take them away forever.
Then Aaron is asking, but who creates this website and what's their bias? You know what, Aaron? You're going to have to do that research on your own because I don't know.
What are they doing and why are they doing it?
I don't know yet. I do find myself very curious. They do have a little section here. How does the Factual select topics? I just want to know where they get their money. Follow the money, Nikki.
I know that really shows you what it is.
But I do wonder because everything about it is free. So and there are no ads on it.
That you know of, and you're just clicking, and it's an extension, so I'm sure it's gathering something.
Yeah, you're probably right. So there's something there, but so far, I kind of like it.
It could be good.
Yeah, I might spend a little more time with that.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
You know, we say to you that you can text us anytime and we'll get it, but you don't believe us. Watch this.
You absolutely can.
Nikki's been gathering up some of our texts from the middle of the day yesterday, and here we go. Let's see. Jessica says, I'm a Riot podcast listener. I was listening to the podcast for April 8th.
Everybody's catching up.
Yes. Where Nikki wanted to know if she was alone in getting food delivered. Well, I'm a household of one and had 6 pints of ice cream delivered from a local shop.
Nice.
That's you, Nikki.
Nothing wrong with that.
So since you ran out of ice cream, have you gone back to it?
I wanted to, and then Eric was like, no. So he went to go get it from the store because that was an essential grocery store visit.
Okay, so wait. What I mean is, though,
I've not DoorDash or done any ice cream deliveries.
But you've sent your manservant out.
No, I had the cart ready.
Because who cares what happens to him as long as the ice cream flows?
I wanted to order it. I had it all in the cart, but it's very expensive. And how expensive it is. So he didn't want to do that.
I will tell you, our conversations have led to me, like I'm going to the store today, and I am absolutely coming home with ice cream.
You have to just have the necessities to get through this.
It's happening.
And that's it.
I don't like. It's been a long time since I've just bought ice cream.
It's great.
But
just get a couple flavors. Just a couple.
There is crap. It's like Buckeye, peanut butter and chocolate. It's the place that makes ice cream in Ohio.
Velvet?
Their Buckeye ice cream is something.
Well, happy
and
Easter.
And then you know what? You put a little chocolate syrup on it.
Oh my gosh! You get the ice cream and
escalates the game.
Put the Easter egg things in it. The peanut butter Easter eggs.
All right, okay.
Oh, that'd be delicious.
So, Jessica, as you can hear, we all have a problem.
We've not had it delivered to us yet, but that's just fantastic.
All right, so here's Ashley. She's a podcast listener and says, I've been trying to get caught up on the podcast while I work from home. You guys were talking about having to buy unfamiliar toilet paper a few days ago. When the toilet paper crazies first started, we had to settle for a few rolls of individually wrapped 1-ply.
You notice the difference, and it's weird. It's not your toilet paper.
That is different.
Yeah.
I feel like what this has led to for me is not buying, cheap toilet paper.
Yeah.
I have had to buy like luxury gold leaf toilet paper because it's the only toilet paper that is left when I get to the store.
You only have the ultra expensive or you've never heard of this brand before. And you don't even know what it is.
I just count myself lucky that I'm driving less so I can take some of my gas money and put it towards toilet paper now.
Well, it's your budget is a balance, It's a little bit more this week for this and a little bit more next week for that.
It's rolls of $100 bills. That
might be cheaper.
It might be, too, because seriously, whatever the toilet paper was I bought, I spent $25 on a pack of toilet paper this week.
Well, everybody was panic buying, and you just took whatever you could.
That's exactly right.
And not all toilet paper is the same.
I was like, man, I'm not even looking at it. Just give it to me.
As long as it's not a paper towel, I'm fine.
Just give it to me.
So thank you, Ashley, for texting, too.
Yeah. Well, remember, you can text 877-2RADIO-U. Ben just did, and he says, Velvet Buckeye Classic is my favorite. I'm with you. It really is good.
That could be your celebration this weekend for Easter.
I could be on board for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a little more expensive, but it's very smooth. I like smooth.
Well, now that we buy expensive toilet paper and we buy expensive ice cream, that's what we do.
Man, look at this guy.
That check is coming. You're getting that money?
I spent my government check. I spent it. My Trump bucks bought me ice cream and the fanciest toilet paper you ever done seen.
Now, that is living, right?
Oh, my gosh.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Boy, this Jalopnik guy sure isn't very happy. Nikki just passed me a story that is kind of fascinating. Do you guys know what the Cannonball Run is?
It was a movie, right?
Well,
or was it a real thing and then a movie?
They did Cannonball Run and Cannonball Run 2. And it's about, though, a real thing, which is a record for how fast can you cross the country.
So from New York to California, how far or how fast can you make that trip?
It's New York City to Los Angeles, I believe. The current record was broken back in November, which was 26 hours and 38 minutes.
There's a video on YouTube you can watch of, the trip.
It's crazy, right? So it looks like it may be that someone has beaten that time again. And that is
26 hours, 38 minutes.
That's the new one.
It beat the November time by 45 minutes, and they say it appears to be right.
Yeah. So these guys basically were like, wait a minute. Everybody's sheltering in place. The roads are empty. We could
They feel
smoke this.
Yeah, they feel like it was the wrong time to try a Cannonball Run. That they knew that there would be some things that would enhance their trip, but
Right.
really they should not be out on the road because if something happened, that'd be taking up resources that wasn't really an emergency in that area.
That's what the Jalopnik guy is saying. He's just like, these guys are huge jerks because et cetera, et cetera. What's interesting is I would have to go back and track the article, but they were so excited about the people who broke it back in November, but now they're angry about it. And so
they started at the Red Ball Garage in New York City at 11:15 p.m. on April 4th, and then 27 hours later at the Portofino Hotel in Redondo Beach. That was the ending point, and that's the traditional place that you start and end for cannonball attempts.
I'm too scaredy cat for that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, how fast are you going at certain points on that trip?
You've
got to be going so fast.
They have fuel tanks that they carry on their cars. Like they don't really stop. They're not stopping to eat, which is what we do when we do a road trip.
Right.
There's no snacks. There's no bathroom.
There's nothing.
You don't stop. You just drive like less than 27 hours. They could go across the country.
Wow. I would just tell you as someone, I've driven not all the way across the country, but from the Midwest to different places on the West Coast. I mean, we're talking the one trip I took was 45 hours. And
you were too slow.
That was if I was driving the speed limit is how long that trip would take.
Well, they use spotters. They use help to make sure that there's not anybody who could pull you over.
Nikki, that's what the bandit's for.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, the bandits
the
out
bandit
there.
Car?
The bandits out there running interference for you.
They use it. They do use that sort of stuff.
And so that's how you know that you can keep bringing on through.
Well, no, thank you. And yes, people are saying that really wasn't the right time to try to do a Cannonball Run.
Oh man, I'm out. I'm too scared of it. I don't trust people or cars. Ryan says most of that is 100 plus miles per hour. I've had a few friends who have done it. Nope. I'll be like, yay, speed limit.
I always say, though, whenever I see cops on the road, they're never pulling over the people they're never there when someone goes flying past you.
I do, yes.
And then you're like, here I go, 3 over, and you got trouble.
Well, they do pull you over.
You don't understand why is there never someone pulling over a person who's like really, really abusing it?
I'll tell you exactly why. Think about it from the police officer's perspective. A guy goes by going 120. You're not going to catch him. Nope. But they can, this sounds so negative and mean, but they can enforce the law on you.
You are a guaranteed ticket and money will come from it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Truly flagrant lawbreakers are much often less likely to get punished because they're harder to go after. So, and that's just human nature.
And we don't want our insurance to go up, so I'll be going the speed limit. No one needs that.
You know that's true.
But that was just beat for the Cannonball, so they're saying 26 hours, 38 minutes was the new record.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, get out your credit card.
What are we
it's
getting?
Time to spend some money.
Yay! What are we buying today?
Actually, you won't need your credit card because it's probably saved right there in your Apple device. So just grab your phone. It's time for you to pick up the 10 Commandments.
Oh, the Blu-ray edition of it?
It's on sale digitally. You won't even need the Blu-ray. Come on.
Did you grow up watching that movie every Easter?
Not really.
Not really?
I don't know why I love it so much. I just do. It's awesome. I haven't watched it in a couple of years. It was on ABC last weekend.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was. And I saw people tweeting about it. And I was like, oh, yeah.
I don't want to take the digital copy from someone who really needs it.
See, that's the thing is I feel like you really need it.
I don't want to watch it.
I think that you should.
I would only watch certain parts of it. And so I don't want to watch the whole movie.
I think you would be amazed at how good it actually is. I mean...
The movie or just the
movie?
Well, I've seen the movie before.
See it again.
See it again.
For the first time.
How many times do you think I need to watch this thing to be amazed by it?
You know, Nikki, I feel like the discussion... This is what every person I talk to about the 10 Commandments, I'm like, well, let's watch the 10 Commandments. It's awesome. And everybody's like, Okay.
Well, I think because I remember watching it a couple of times at Easter when it was on TV, and that was just the thing that you watched. But it was so long.
It's very long.
And now we can barely make it through a YouTube video.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm sure it is, but I just want to watch parts of it.
It's of its time. I mean, in reality, it's funny to me, like when Charlton Heston encounters God, he comes, after he does that, he just turns into just kind of a weirdo. He never looks at people anymore. He just, every time he talks to somebody, he just stares off into the distance while he talks to them.
Have you ever looked up like old interviews with him about playing that character or any insight on that? That would be fascinating.
Yeah. So,
like, what made you play the role that way?
That way. I know, but that's what's interesting about it is that if you watch, the story of Moses from Exodus, it's it's been depicted lots of times, but each time you watch it, it's such a reflection of its time, the way they tell the story. So, like, that's what happens in that. But if you watch The Prince of Egypt, which that's great, from like 20 years ago or something, it's animated, but Moses comes and he's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but God talked to me and fun. It's
a different take on it.
It's a totally different take. Totally different take. And so it's fascinating to me to watch the same story get told lots of different ways.
What was the one from a few years ago? Did they do another? Was that
Exodus,
Moses?
Gods and Kings.
That one.
Ridley Scott. I still have not seen it. That's on sale, too. Maybe I should pick that up and watch it.
Well, it seems like an Easter release, doesn't it? So.
It does. A lot of people that I know were very angry with the depiction of Moses in that film.
Were they?
Yeah, so maybe I don't know. I mean, hey, anybody else looking to get mad this weekend? Come on.
If you have candy with you ready and available, some soda and a movie, you can't get mad then.
That's true.
It won't bug you as much.
But I love it. It's such a 50s movie take, and I know it's old, but it's great.
You like watching classic movies.
One of the characters, Joshua, he's very, again, of his time, he's like Errol Flynn. At some point, somebody needs rescued. He literally swings on a rope in to save them, and I'm just like, where'd he get the rope? Never mind.
Why not?
Why not?
Well, all right. So it's on sale today, is it?
Beauty is a curse to our women. It's great.
How much is it on sale for?
$4.99.
Wow.
What a savings!
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
You know what, Nikki? I'll buy it for you.
No, thank you.
You know what? What a gift!
I don't.
The friendship that we have. Give me, what's your Apple ID?
I do not want.
Let me gift you a copy.
Please don't gift me a copy. I just don't want to feel the pressure of having to watch that this weekend.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Let's talk about what Twitch is doing. Twitch is allowing you, if you are a top streamer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just to be clear, if you are like, how do I know if I'm a top streamer? Then that automatically means you're not one.
You're not yet. Not yet. Soon. Hopefully one day.
It's happening. Don't worry about it. It's coming.
What do you get to do?
They are going to start doing Twitch live streams that are watch parties. So Amazon is teaming up with Twitch to allow this. They have 70 movies and TV shows that are available. And this is tricky. So they can host a watch party of one of these 70 titles that are available on Amazon Prime.
Sure.
The only way that you can watch it with them is you have to also be
an Amazon Prime member. Oh, I see. So it'd be free for you to watch anyways.
Yeah. So that way you're both paying, quote unquote, for the content to be able to do that. But
But it's fun. Watch parties are just a way for you to connect to your friends and hang out in a virtual sense.
I'll be honest. If I was able to, I could see me doing this, like getting some friends together to watch something and talk while we watch it.
The biggest question, though, is what are they offering?
Well, let me give you some examples. Hunters, which is their like new series, the Nazi hunting thing.
Gotcha.
Okay. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, also an Amazon one. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Also an Amazon?
Yes. Basically everything Star Trek, the original and all the spinoff series that they have. Survivor, Mr. Robot, The Avengers, Psych, America's Top Model, and the list goes on.
Wow, what a list. What a wonderful list. Really, it's about just spending time with your friends.
I was going to say, Nikki, I can't control this. I'm just reporting the news.
We've always said Amazon Prime has a weaker list of shows. Well, actually, people tend to like their original shows, so maybe that first part of the list would be better if you've not gotten into those.
I will say I've watched a few Amazon originals, and most of them I think that, let me say this, that were aimed at me. I liked them. Potentially a little, I think have a tendency to like them a little more than some of the Netflix stuff, but I think it's because Netflix is just a fire hose of content, so that I'm just like, whoa, I can't take anymore. It's too much.
But then on Amazon, I think their movie selection is not always as strong.
Yeah, no. Oh, yes, no. But, well, for me, I'll tell you where Amazon's paying their bills. I'm watching all the Riff Track stuff on there.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. And I've watched the dumbest stuff on Riff Tracks and enjoyed it so much.
So that's an option if you're wanting to with Twitch. And Amazon owns Twitch, which is why they're doing that.
Did they? Oh, that's right. They do own them. That's not a partnership. That's an ownership.
No, they own them.
All right. Well, there you go.
They own all of them.
It's all. Big Twitch paid for all this.
No, it's Big Amazon.
Big Amazon paid for all this. And remember, as an Amazon Prime member, you are Big Amazon. You just don't own anything. Sorry.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on RadioU.
I feel like this, all right, maybe this is too dark or honest or whatever, but the more that people offer me things that I can stream for free, the more I realize just how little I actually care about things that are available to stream.
Well, during the stay-at-homes, you're having more companies and more entertainment areas give you free stuff for the next so many months to keep you, what they're saying, entertained during your time because you're supposed to be staying at home.
I'm trying to think it through. In some ways, it's kind of devalued it to me because I'm beginning to realize that I keep saying maybe someday I'll pay for that and watch it. And now that it's free, I'm realizing, you know what? Even free, I'm not willing to watch this. And that list is growing.
It makes you feel like, remember when we used to have cable when you were younger and it was like you had all these channels, but you just never wanted to watch any of them.
That's where we are.
And now you're back to having all these entertainment options, but you realize most of it you never really even want to watch.
The mask is off. Streaming is just cable, guys.
Well, now currently, because it's all trying to be pushed at you by getting you to just sign up for free.
Well, here we go, Nikki. Apple TV Plus has just announced that they're making a bunch of their content free, which nobody was paying for anyway.
I still feel like Apple TV Plus stuff, that I don't know what happened with it. It's not right. There's something off on it.
Meaning you don't, having watched the contents, you don't think it's good?
Not even watching the content, just the whole setup of it was just very odd. I know it was supposed to integrate into your phone and your movies and your TV show already, but usually when I go to watch entertainment stuff, it was just a weird way to access their stuff. I want to go to my own app, like its own thing.
Yes.
And it was just different.
Well, they have, if you have an Apple device, you may be familiar. Like I have an Apple TV, which I really like the
I'm
Apple
sure
TV.
It could be better set up there, but
what you do is there's all these different, channels and apps and stuff. But then the very first one in the upper left-hand corner is the Apple TV app. Mm-hmm. And what they want to do is they want to set it up so that like Netflix, Amazon, like all these third parties feed into it. So it's like your one-stop shop.
Yeah.
And then they just put their content in there as well. Well, Netflix won't play with them. Like a lot of companies are just like, no, we won't. We won't let you put our stuff in your portal there.
So I just never go there to watch anything, and I just never caught on.
Now, I'll tell you, not only do I have an Apple TV, but I also have an Amazon Fire Cube. Mm-hmm. And depending on what device you have, Apple has made their TV app available on some Android platforms. So, like, I can watch Apple TV stuff on my Android Fire Cube, and they are, whether you have an Apple device or not, through that app, they're making all of this stuff available. So if you have like an Amazon thing, or I think it might also be on Roku. I wouldn't quote me on that. You can Google it and find out.
I wanted to watch the M. Night Shyamalan one, but that was a weird one, so I don't know.
It looks too weird for me.
I just was going back and forth on it. If anybody ended up watching it, let me know if it was worth it.
Actually, yeah. I would love that too. Tell us if it's any good. I need to watch For All Mankind. That's that alternate. I mean, it is.
That's been out since the start of Apple TV stuff.
I know.
Come on.
Horses your hold. I'm working on it.
Remember, you got all weekend. You have a 4-day weekend. You can totally get through something.
You know what? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to set myself up to feel like I need to use this time to what? Make sure I get through a show
maybe
that I wasn't willing to even pay for.
You can finally watch it. Is it all free now for?
No, not everything. The Elephant Queen, Little America, Servant, For All Mankind, Snoopy in Space, which I'm also going to check out, Dickinson, and Helpsters. That's a preschool show.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, but
maybe we'd get through that.
Yeah, maybe. Want to say hi to Chris. He is making a drive home after a long night. Chris, you said you needed something a little harder.
Little something, just to help the drive, keep you awake.
This one's for you, man.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
What? I have said this before on this show. One of the last things that you ever want to do is take a microbiology class. Because if you do, you will realize just what filthy, disgusting creatures we actually are.
You might not want to learn all that. Things won't be the same.
But here's the thing. Now, with the coronavirus, we are all getting little classes in microbiology. I mean, we thought with the norovirus we were really learning something, but now, oh, no. Like, I know what PPE means. I didn't know what that meant. I thought that was like PVP. They're like, no, it's PPE. See? Completely different. So here's another one that you probably don't want to know about. There are researchers at the KU Leuven and the Eindhoven University of Technology. This is in Brussels.
I was going to say that does not sound like here.
It's not. But here's what they have found is that if you are out running, people behind you, so like let's say you're staying 6 feet behind another runner.
Sure.
That other runner is getting absolutely covered in your
germs.
Filth.
Oh, really?
Because what are you doing? You're breathing in and out really hard and whatever. And you're
back at them,
creating a headwind. So you're moving along and you are, as you're running and breathing in and out, you're just creating what they're calling a bacteria plume.
So first off, we're hearing the word plume too often.
Way too much plumage.
And second, so then, we talked, you're not really supposed to run next to each other.
Well, that's actually what they say.
So are you supposed to?
They say that you would be better off, safer, if you're running, to run next to each other. Now, let's keep in mind, this is not exactly what our government is currently telling you. This is based on the Brussels people, but remember the muscles from Brussels.
It depends, too, on just the track or the path that you're running.
Yeah.
So, like, if no one else is there, you're good.
Yeah.
But if it's a really wide path, stay to the side. If it's not, be faster. You need to be the one in the lead.
Don't run directly behind somebody because they're pluming. They're pluming diseases. But see, they've always been doing this.
Sure.
This is not like, oh, now that we're all sick, everyone's just giving off diseases.
Do you think, like as runners and stuff, do you like to fall behind someone? Isn't that like in the NASCAR world? What is it called?
Drafting.
Like, do you like if a runner is so close to you? Or
I don't, you know what? I've usually got headphones in. I try not to pay attention. So whatever. I do know. So, like, say, for example, you're running a foot race, like a 5K or something like that. You absolutely end up in packs with people and all this stuff. But, it just goes to show you that you are a walking, talking excretion factory. You are living.
Thanks for sharing that.
You are leaving little bits and pieces of yourself and your inside all over the place.
So just make sure that if you do go outside for some fresh air and some exercise, which you're totally allowed to do.
And I think you should.
Just be aware what's around you during the time.
What you're doing.
And what are you behind? And you might have to fix that.
Ben says if you're able to go running, you're probably not sick. Ben, aren't you listening to Dr. Acton?
It is.
You can be asymptomatic.
I know. Ben just might not know.
I'm just saying. It's that kind of attitude that's got the diseases. So,
well, is that all they had to say about it? Just be aware if you're behind someone?
They're just letting you know that if you're running and somebody's running behind you, you are just giving them your own personal rinse.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on Radio U.
People are starting to lick things at the grocery store. Now, to be clear...
Have they always been doing this?
I think this has always been happening.
No, I think so, too. And we're just now, especially
getting around to finding out.
Hearing about it, because with the coronavirus, I think it makes when you get caught, the level of trouble that you get in maybe more.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that at your local grocery store... They've been finding people licking your food forever, and they're just like...
Since the start of the store.
Like, you know what, you just wipe it off and put it back. It's fine. Get out of here! No big deal. Now it's like somebody licks something, and it's news now, because who knows? We got a woman in Nevada that went into a Safeway, which is a supermarket there, South Lake Tahoe, and she put several pieces of jewelry from the store in her hands and then licked them, and then began loading her shopping cart with other items and began licking those.
It made me feel like, when you were younger, you're like, someone wants to take something of yours, so you lick it, so then they won't.
Yeah.
It actually seems like that was her reasoning. Like, I'm going to take this piece of jewelry and you're not going to want it, and I'm not going to pay for it, but I'm going to lick it.
Yeah. You know what? Very mature and an interesting idea, sure. And I want you to know that after you buy the jewelry, you can lick it as much as you want.
All that you want.
It's probably not going to be good for your tongue. It's eventually not going to be good for the jewelry, but whatever. But before then, could you not do that? I mean, you're not allowed to eat out of the bulk bins, okay?
I wonder how this all worked out, because, they don't really say the timeline of events, but if she was licking the stuff but then went and bought it, that would be one thing. But they didn't say that she purchased the items.
No, she didn't.
They just caught her licking the items, but what if she would have gone and checked out?
Now, see, my thought is that on some level, she must not have.
I think she was showing that she wasn't going to.
Yeah.
That was the vibe she was giving with it. So she got in trouble, charge of felony vandalism. The store said that all of the items in her cart were unsellable due to cross-contamination, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at her photo, and again, I hate to be one to judge on appearance.
We all have different, we all have a quarantine look about us.
Everybody's got a look. But when I look at her, I see someone who, if you told me that she was licking the jewelry and not paying for it,
you could tell.
I wouldn't have any trouble believing that.
You know why?
Why?
It's in the eyes.
It is in the eyes.
The eyes.
Look in the eyes. And then the hair a little bit.
Yeah, it's disheveled.
It's a little more than that.
Well, that was the nice way of putting it.
Unkempt.
Oh, that's also good.
But yeah.
So remember, don't lick anything, okay?
Just a heads up that please don't lick the food.
This is jewelry. Just any items from the store.
Yeah. Let's see. How about... Oh, gosh. You know what?
I can see that.
I'll read it. This is a text from Zach. He says, I worked at Kroger in high school. I used to go watch the cameras with the security guy. Never saw anyone lick stuff, but we did see a lot of people stick their hands down their pants and then continue shopping.
Well, people steal stuff by putting them in their pants. Do you remember the guy? What story was he? He took like hundreds of dollars worth of meats and stuff.
Yeah, and he just stuck them in his pants.
He put them all in his pants. Yeah. It was just like he was trying to get out of the store with it.
Yeah. Hey, I had a friend that worked loss prevention at Macy's. His stories are the best stories. And the footage that he would show me was the best.
The things that people do.
Yeah.
You never would think someone would do that. And they do.
They're doing it. And people are watching.
This is the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Hey, I hope you didn't want to go back to school this year.
Well, depends on the area that you're in.
Depending on where you live, there's a good chance you're not. I did not know this.
College, though, is like done.
That's basically
a...
Shut it down.
Well, and I read an article yesterday about how for some schools, for some colleges, they might not also be able to come back next year.
Right, in the fall. Mm-hmm. So some of them are saying maybe...
No, like they won't be able to continue as a college, with people coming back if they want to, with classes and stuff, like a lot like movie theaters. They just say that schools will be different.
Yeah, I keep seeing that everyone expects AMC to go bankrupt.
I think Regal would go first, don't you think?
Maybe, but
they said that one at first.
AMC's footprint is huge.
Yeah.
And if they carry a lot of debt as a business and they're not able to make their payments, they probably don't completely disappear, but they end up being bought out and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. But I know that Michigan, their public schools not going back.
Not for this school year.
Not for this school year. And then I see that yesterday in the state of Washington, the governor extended the closure of public, private, and charter schools through June 19th, which means not until next year.
Why don't you just hold it off? Be like, classes start back at June 19th. Just make it then.
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that. There's been discussion about that where it's like, well, maybe we go to school during the month of June and then we wrap up and summer this year is only like 6 weeks
shorter,
or something.
Yeah.
But that is not going to be the case, at least in the state of Washington. And as far as I know, the state of Michigan. And then, of course, there are other states that are eyeballing this.
Well, Washington was saying that, the stuff might not go back to normal through the summer and even into the fall. And it was like, hang on, everybody. But not everybody's saying that.
Well, I had a friend of mine, when they shut down school, he was like, hey, can you help me get some stuff out of my classroom? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I was over at the school on what was the quote unquote, you ready? Last day
sure
of school before the 2-week shutdown. And what I noticed was I was watching teachers take things off the walls.
They knew.
And cleaning stuff out. And I was like, I looked at that and I was like, you know what? This isn't what everybody else is hearing. They said 2 weeks, but you're taking everything down, everything down. What are you doing that for?
Again, it depends on which area you're in and what they'll do.
So I don't know, but I do know this, that a lot of you are distance learning now, and I wish you the best of luck.
Distance learning, distance working.
Yeah, and we're all home. Everybody made fun of homeschooling, but we're all homeschooled now.
All of us are just doing everything from home.
Now we're all that way.
Well, feel free to text and say hello. And what are you up to today? 877 RadioU. Which room are you working from today?
You know what I would like to know?
What?
What if you find out that you really like being homeschooled? And you're just like, I don't want to go back to school. I'm just going to stay here.
Well, some people like distance learning, but some people don't do it well. It depends too. Like with college classes, it's a different style than if you're if you're a senior or something.
Oh, okay. I've graduated. I have my bachelor's and I've looked at getting my master's online and doing distance learning. And I'm just like, man, I don't know if I want to do this or not. I think it's tougher.
If you had a school experience, then maybe it wouldn't be so bad because you already had that. But I do feel bad for people that are missing out on some milestones because they can't go back to classes.
No, I'm totally with you. So I have some friends that their senior year their high school senior year has been wrecked. But same with college. I mean, a lot of those people, you're not going to get, you'll see them online, but it won't be the same. And those 3 or 4 months that you were going to have with them, you kind of got robbed of that. So it's crazy out there. And if you're in Washington, that's you.
The Riot. Not everyone's a fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
I do have some bad news in regards to my health. Mm-hmm. We now have a laser thermometer that we're using every morning when the Riot comes in. Mm-hmm. And today my temperature was 94.8.
Why doesn't it work with you?
I don't know.
Well, okay. I'm going to get it and I'm going to bring it in and try it.
What? Oh, what? Because you're going to do it? No. I'm
going to try it. We'll see what it is.
Because,
do you warm up during the morning?
Maybe. Because, granted, it was when I first got here, which is when I'm supposed to take it.
Yeah.
And I've been here for a while. So maybe I'm warmer now.
And you're doing it on your forehead? An inch away? I know you are, but that's such a low temperature.
I know. So, and it's getting lower. That's the thing that gets me.
It was warmer yesterday.
Yesterday it was like 96 point something. Today it's 94.
We were concerned yesterday, and now it just seems like you're sick.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably just slowly becoming the undead. But as they say, as long as I don't have a fever and as long as I'm coming to work, who cares?
I know, but can it be reversed where if you're too low, your temperature?
No, that's not a thing.
It is.
We're just dead.
It's hypothermia.
Yeah, I have that now.
And you're not...
I picked it up.
You don't chatter? You're not cold? Are you shivering? Or
You know, Nikki, if maybe I'm probably a day walker. You know, like I'm a vampire.
you're just worried.
But I can be...
All right, you know, this whole thermometer thing out there is causing problems. So now there's pressure.
What are you talking about?
Well, I want to make sure you're fine. And I thought you were going to be fine. But at that temperature, I don't know what's going on.
It's just pointing out. I mean, this would explain why I sweat so much. You know, it gets a little warm and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa.
And everybody else is normal because they're closer to that temperature.
That's right. But for me, that's such a drastic increase.
How many times did you take it this morning?
How many? What am I supposed to take it 3 times to take average?
Well, yeah, like, did you try again? When you got such a low temperature, did you try again?
No. I was just like, well, I'm screwed. Back to work.
No, I think you need to try again. Try again.
Oh, okay. So this is the thing now. Remember, you can't take my temperature. You're not allowed to get that close to me. 6 feet.
I can hold my arm out. We're fine.
You guys don't know this, but Nikki has very long arms.
I do not.
You just said
They are perfectly proportioned to the rest of me. No way.
Nikki's huge, guys. She's got, like, what you don't know. Like, she's one.
I'm one of those, what's those things? The little, the air things at, like, the stores.
Wavy tube man.
The wavy tube man.
That's you, Nikki.
I got long arms.
She's wavy tube man. She's also a huge basketball player overseas.
Yes, I am. Well, I got a
just walks
talent.
down the court and just places the ball in.
I don't want this to move on from you and your low body temperature. I want you to go figure it out. Just go make it work.
What? Okay. Hey, everybody, 97.6. I'm doing
but
great.
But you were lower, 96. 96 is your body temperature?
No, it's 94.8. I'm doing great. What?
You're supposed to go to the doctor, I think.
Oh, no. Don't go there.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I have reached the point now where nothing makes me more sure that something is canceled than when someone keeps telling me how much it's not canceled.
Oh, they're like making sure that you don't get worried because they don't want you to not watch it.
And it's like, no, it's definitely canceled. And that is when they're out there saying it's definitely not. That is the first thing they say right before they cancel it.
Usually the day before the official canceled announcement.
And that's what happened late last night. UFC 249 was supposed to happen this weekend, and they were adamant that it was absolutely going to happen.
So this is the one where I think this was going to be, it was supposed to be on some place that was like not the same rules as, you know, the United States.
No, well,
was an island or some sort of reservation or something?
Here's the deal. You're mixing up. He is saying that he is looking at buying an island.
Oh, he wants to buy one now?
They can, get outside of international treaties and such and just do what they want. Yes, that's a thing.
We're supposed to have a location somewhere in California that was going to work for the one this weekend.
Right. Well, not anymore.
No.
And it wasn't really them that pulled the plug. It was
Big Disney.
Yeah, it was. So here's the deal. It was going to be an ESPN, I guess they're calling it an ESPN pay-per-view event. So ESPN plus pay-per-view. I didn't look really hard into how to watch it because I had absolutely no plans to do so. So they were saying that ESPN was just like, look, we're not going to air it. So you might as well not even have it. And so they did. They canceled it. Without an outlet to show it, there was no point in having it. And so that's it.
So that was the one that was supposed to be...
It was supposed to be this weekend.
Oh, okay.
And it's not happening. Just a heads up. So as I said, nothing says canceled like you screaming that it's not.
But are they still looking at the island thing for other ones down the road?
Yeah, like he hasn't... that I know of hasn't backed off of that. There's still a discussion that, hey, we're going to have an island.
I'm just looking through the story to see if there was anything else interesting about it. It was different. They were trying. They were absolutely trying. But if you don't have a network that's going to be playing it, then there's no reason.
Yeah. So he says, and I quote, that he's going to make things right for the people who are willing to fight next weekend, which means I guess you get paid a little bit. But yeah, they are laying off a bit.
Oh, and everybody else is supposed to be staying at home, or if there's a shelter in place, and then you go and you're like, nope, here are these. In California, they'd be still ignoring those rules to have this event.
Right.
They just felt it would be wrong.
And so it's not going to happen. Which, you know what?
I knew someone who was wanting to watch that this weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, it's like, well, nope, not going to happen.
That's because there's no sports, Nikki. People are like, you know what? I don't like UFC. Whatever. Is it on ESPN? I'll watch it.
People are willing to watch anything at this point.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
So we tried Peeps, like a couple of variety of flavors. There are some other flavors out there that are new that we haven't had yet, but just going to have to wait.
Well, during our after show earlier this week, we tried the hot tamales one, the sour watermelon, and the pancakes and syrup.
Wow,
which were way better than we thought they were, and way better than any original Peeps.
Oh, so much better.
Much better.
So much better.
Because we're not into those.
Well, I don't know if you guys have heard, but liquid calories are in. You want to get as much of your calories from just drinking stuff as you can.
Think of this like getting, going to the juice bar, but just a little different.
Just a little different. We're talking about the Peeps flavored Slurpee. That's coming to 7-Eleven.
There's Slurpees, and they're doing a hot latte.
The Peeps, okay. I don't think a Peeps Slurpee sounds very good, but a Peeps latte?
That could actually be just fine.
That sounds kind of good.
So it is throughout the month of April that you can get the Peeps cold, like the Slurpee one and the hot latte. You can have them delivered for free if you're in the area for 7-Eleven's delivery, and that goes through the month of April.
I mean, you probably have to have them delivered, right? I mean, I guess depending on your state.
It's like a gas station. You can go in.
I know, but like the gas stations, at least where I live, you can't get a fountain soda because, believe me,
you can't do the thing yourself.
One so bad.
Well, I don't know if the workaround is at some gas stations they can do it for you, but you cannot. But like out in the open, get your own.
You're going to one of them highfalutin gas stations. They won't do that for me.
That's why you got to do the delivery. Like, I'm here and I need it right outside.
Did you bring it to me? Right over here. So
if you're near a 7-Eleven, use the promo code free for you, and that will get the free delivery.
The color is not good. Like, have you looked at the color of the Slurpee?
Well, it
looks like a cross between mustard and something else.
Yeah. Let's say an upset tummy. If you just don't feel good, that's that color.
It's not a good color.
Maybe it tastes good. It's marshmallow and in a beverage form. I think the hot latte one would be better.
Hot latte sounds like you're not feeling very good.
This all feels like you're not going to feel good.
Oh, I had a hot latte.
We don't have a 7-Eleven near us, though, so I don't know if we'll try it.
I had to drive like an hour to get that special Superman cup that one time. And that was it for me in 7-Eleven.
You're never doing it again.
Well, you know, when I visit my family in the Pacific Northwest, they have 7-Elevens everywhere. And they're great because they have the double gulp. 64 ounces. That cup doesn't fit in anything.
No cup holder.
I mean, there isn't a cup holder cabinet alive where you can put that thing when you're done. But I sure do love it.
That's because you got to set it out. That's art. You got to put that out on your table.
You're right, Nikki. You're right.
So, again, if you're in the area for a 7-Eleven, you get free delivery on the Peeps Slurpee and the latte.
Everybody, make sure you get yours and let us know how it is. Because Nikki and I are on the outside looking in, just tapping on the glass like, hey!
Dude, just get a latte and throw in some Peeps.
That would work,
Let
probably.
it melt. Watch it melt.
Make the noises.
We're listening to the worst of the Riot. RadioU.
Coming up soon, supposedly. I know the deal. Like, everybody's like, Facebook is so over. Nobody's using Facebook. And some of my friends are like, yeah, the only reason I use Facebook is to stay in touch with my older relatives.
Yeah,
I've heard that lots of times.
In the last month or so, I bet that's been an increase, though.
I know.
So
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Facebook has probably seen an increase because of everybody staying at home and having to messenger everybody.
I've actually thought about buying, how Facebook has those... they're basically
the
tablets.
Screens?
Yeah, I've thought about sending. I've got one family member in particular. I've thought I'll just send it to them, and then you just hit the button and it works. Theoretically, I mean that's what
there'd still be a problem, and you'd have to set it up.
That
was really wishful thinking, right?
See how the coronavirus is affecting my mind.
No, do you see
in this crisis, I was dumb enough to think technology would work.
Well, that's why Facebook is like, yeah, I keep saying that.
I said to the one, I'm like, just log into Facebook. Okay, now in just a second, something's going to pop up that says you're getting a call from me. I can hear it ringing.
You could
through the phone, and they can't find it. So what makes me think that if I put a specialized device in their hand, that's going to work?
Well, sometimes they need a bigger device, but even though if they're on their computer or their phone, not everybody's meant to be able to understand this.
I apologize for being so naive. I do. I'm very sorry. And it's time for us to move on.
Mm-hmm.
What were we talking about?
Netflix numbers and stuff.
No. Facebook.
Oh, yeah, Facebook.
But Facebook is supposedly about to release something called Campus, which will be a Facebook quote-unquote product. It'll be an online app that is just for people that are in college. Now, when Facebook started, that's what it was. That was it. Like, you either had to be attending or work for a university to use Facebook. It went public.
You had to have a university, you had to have a school email address.
And that's going to be their new hook, is that if you don't have a .edu address or something like that, you won't be able to use Facebook Campus.
You can then list your major, your minor stuff, what dorm you live in, and that'll connect you with other students in your area.
Yeah, so that's a thing. It's coming.
Really does seem like how it was in the very beginning.
I think they've lost I know they've lost a lot of market share when it comes to college students.
Oh, of course.
So
everybody moved on.
Yeah, they did move on.
Well, you know what? This will move into more. This will be more about the social aspect of your school, where it'll be dating, because they tried the dating stuff for a while with Facebook, and basically a messenger sort of social approach to it for those that are living on campus.
Yeah, I do think the idea of when it started, Facebook was the hotness because it did just that. It all of a sudden took campuses and kind of made this online aspect to it. Now there are so many competing products that are doing that.
They want to fight against that.
They want to go back and do it again. I don't know, but it's a thing. And I'm not going to say that it's going to work or be good, because that would be just me buying the hype, which apparently I'm very susceptible to nowadays.
You're open to doing that. So that's Facebook Campus, and they're saying that they're working on code, and that might be what something would be offered. But yes, you'd have to have a .edu address for it. All right. Well, Facebook Campus. They want you back, guys. They want you back.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network, through the RadioU app, or at riot.radiou.com.
Well, I'm screwed. Back to work.